Hi guys, welcome to Level Up, your Founders Hall guide to leveling up your experience at UAT. I'm Karis, and I am here with our provost, Dr. David Bolman. Thanks for joining us today.
Hello.
We just kind of wanted to get to know you and kind of what your job looks like at UAT. I know you're the provost, but what does that actually?
No one knows what that is.
No one knows what that is. So yeah, tell us a little bit about like what your job is at UAT.
Mostly what I'm responsible for is what students learn. At the end of the day, it's like what kind of technologies are we teaching? Mm-hmm. What are the courses that are in the technologies? What, like when something's happening out there in the tech world, I'm responsible for making sure it gets into the courses. And which is a big part of my background because it's like my PhD is in technology trends.
Cool.
And so,
I didn't know that.
yeah. No, that's what I teach at the graduate program. I teach, how do you forecast and look for tech trends and stuff like that. And so do that with the programs.
Awesome. And with technology, I mean, technology is always changing. So I think it's cool and probably very special for UAT to have, people who are constantly looking to see like what kind of technologies out there or even slowly but surely being created out there that we can start incorporating into courses.
That's always kind of been our gig. I mean, when we started back in the 80s, the new technology was CAD, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, CAD drafting, that's amazing!" And
I don't even know what CAD is.
And actually, somewhere there's this great picture. Oh, computer drafting.
Okay, gotcha.
And there's this great picture of me teaching the very first class of students at UAT, and it was like mid-late 80s, and people didn't know anything about computers. So there's this image of me doing, okay, this is what a mouse is, and here's how a mouse works. And when you think about a computer, this is what memory is. And and so we started there.
Right.
But then early 90s, things started to evolve, and my work as a graduate student at that point was in 3D graphics. And so I was into simulation and VR and stuff like that. And so we kind of hopped onto that. And it was just like, I remember we did that, and then when 3D graphics chips started to become a thing in the 90s, we moved into 3D animation and computer gaming. And then when Y2K hit and cyber started to be a thing, we hopped into that. And it's just always kind of been like
evolving.
And that's a big piece of what we do really well is like we're just always looking at, okay, what's the next thing so we can get it into courses really, really fast. Like right now, that's all blockchain and AI. And
still cool though. So then you mentioned you were here as a professor in the 80s. How did you get to UAT? Like, how did you find it?
I didn't want to be lame. I met my wife as an undergrad.
Okay.
And we dated for 3 years, graduated college, got married the next month.
Love it.
And then we both went to DC for internships. Okay. She was the like an operations manager for a dance company. Cool. And I was a database programmer at Smithsonian.
Wow.
And so I did that for a year.
Okay.
And then we came back to grad school, and I was like, well, we're back and going to grad school, and back then it was old school. You had to actually be on campus and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to be delivering pizzas at night. That's lame. I'm married. It's like, and I saw an ad in the paper looking for computer instructors, and the hours were like 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can do that. And so what it was the beginnings of the school. They were getting ready to start teaching classes. Mm-hmm. And then at that time, not a whole lot of people knew how computers worked, let alone knew how CAD worked.
Yeah.
And that was my background. And so I got started there, and the idea being that when I finished my master's in what I was studying then was like all the math behind if you're going to do something 3D on screen.
Yeah.
That was my area, especially how to make stereographic stuff, how to make 3D like for VR helmets and stuff.
Yeah.
That was my area. So I was like, okay, we'll do this, and then when I get my degree, we'll stop teaching here and we'll head to the West Coast and do that. And what had kind of happened was we got to a point where we had to make a decision on it, and I'm like, I can't decide. And so we just sure enough, hopped in the car, drove the entire West Coast to talk it over, and we came back and said, oh, we're just going to stay with the school because I like the school. And so
and just stayed. History.
Yep, yeah, and that was about the time that we started designing the campus because we didn't used to be here. And so the thing that was the kicker was I was really interested in if you're going to make a learning model around being good at building with tech, what would it look like? Yeah. And at that time, the founder was like, he's like almost nobody ever gets to build a college from the ground up. So let's just rethink everything, including the learning part. Yeah. And so he and I used to spend days and days and days just talking about what would be a great learning model for learning this. And so that was kind of the kicker. I'm like, well, I certainly like programming the tech and doing that, but actually designing how learning happens. And so kind of the other half of being a provost is is how all the stuff like SIP and build forward and lots of hands-on tech. That was all things that we were from the front end, like, this is what we want. No, and actually our accrediting agency, and they're wonderful. They love us. I mean, they regularly have us talk about, this is an example of a small private college that has a unique way of doing things that makes absolute sense for what they're doing. And so, like annual conference, they're always having us talk about, what's this thing about the Provost Challenge? What's this thing about SIP? And what's board? Why do you have everybody do boards? And I've had times I've been with my counterparts at bigger institutions, and what they say is like because they're big, they can't do what we do. You can't say no, every student, we want you to build several projects every semester, that as an undergraduate you've got to create examples that show how to do all the things related to being in cyber or AI or blockchain or robotics or whatever. They just operationally, when you're big, you can't do that. And you're small, you get to do that.
And I think that that's another way that UAT is really special, because it is a small campus, both online and in person. But it also means that there is more depth. There's more, the meat and potatoes in your education. I mean, I got a degree in music, which was also very hands-on. We had some tests, but
it's mostly just performance,
it's all performance. And you get graded on your progress semester to semester. And so, there was very little you could test on. And so when I was thinking about that within technology, I think it's honestly more applicable, and it makes them more prepared for when they do graduate and they do walk into the real world, because it's not that they passed it on paper. No, and actually they created it. They made stuff for it.
So much of what the learning model is designed to make sure that graduates leave here, and consistently, not just the top end, but kind of everybody. If you're paying attention and you're focusing up, when you go to the first job, you're not going to be struck with oh my gosh, I've never asked to do that before. I have no idea what this looks like.
I have no idea what Java is.
And so and that's it's a much better feeling. And employers like it a lot better.
I'm sure. Awesome. So then obviously you have a great impact, and you have a lot to do here on campus. But when you leave campus, what kinds of things do you and your family like to do for fun?
I am really big on cooking.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, no, in fact, for years, on the opening, for a decade, on the opening weekend of Founders, I would always come in on Saturday and do cooking classes. I'd bring all the food in, and I would just do cooking classes. No, I love cooking. And so, in fact, when I'm on vacation, whenever possible, I'm trying to stay in a place that's got a kitchen.
It has a kitchen.
Because I'm I have free time to cook.
Going back to, you mentioned that obviously you said you have you went to graduate school and you went and got your PhD. Was your passion always in technology, or do you feel like you changed your major?
It changed a lot. When I was a kid, I was a kid of the 70s. And
how's that possible when you're only 32?
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. And in the 70s, we were all crazy excited because the Apollo missions had wrapped up. But then the first space station went up, and then there was going to be the space shuttle, was going to launch. And I got really excited about all things space. And so I thought, I'm going to be an aerospace engineer. And so I did all my high school stuff to be, all aerospace engineering. I did my high school projects on it. Even got an invitation from NASA to be at Cape Canaveral for the launch of the first space shuttle.
That's so cool.
And so did all that stuff, and then feeling all right, this is what I'm going to do. And I went to ASU and started aerospace engineering, and I didn't like it. It's I was just and it wasn't I didn't like it. I discovered that the people I hung out with, I didn't hang out with anybody in the aerospace engineering program. And I'm well, that's kind of weird. And what I did discover was that the folks I was hanging out with were either graphics designer kind of people or they're computer science people. And so ASU at that time was just beginning. There was one of those signs on, there was a sign on the wall of hey, have you heard about this thing called CAD? It's going to change the world. Come to an IEEE meeting. And so I went there, and then I got a summer job as a drafter at Motorola, and then in the fall started taking these courses in the art college and courses in engineering college on that kind of brought those ideas together, and I switched to computer graphics. and I got a computer science degree in graphics. And one of the things that's kind of a thing about ASU, sorry, UAT, is that the programs are designed so that you could be a game major, but then go and take some cyber courses so you can Reese's Peanut Butter Cup those together.
Yeah.
And that kind of came out of my experience at ASU. Like the best part of my experience at ASU is because the program was new and not really developed. They just said, well, here, this professor in this college teaches some art classes. This person over here teaches some database classes. They had me go all over the place to put together the degree.
Right.
And I thought that was amazing. And so when we designed our degrees here, I'm like, yeah, we're going to make that.
It's very customizable so that people can get a nice
and you can just
wide variety.
Yeah, we just don't know what technologies fit together to do something new.
Yeah.
It happens way more to people. I think there's just kind of this thing that happens before you go to college. Like, you got to pick your plan, stick to your plan, and go. And I'm like, honestly, I mean, tuition aside, I think it's far better, like your first year of college, to just get in a general direction and take courses that are going to apply to your program of studies, so you don't burn extra semesters. But just follow what seems interesting.
Yeah.
And you'll that much better hit rate of success than what you thought you might want to do before up, or what everybody told you should do before you show up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. At the very end of every episode, we have a lightning round of just fun little questions to get to know you. And I'm going to just kind of recall most of them that we've used from past episodes. But tell me, what is your favorite candy? First of all, everyone wants to know everyone's favorite candy.
Anything really sour.
You like sour?
Absolutely sour. Actually, I've got to be really careful. Last year at Halloween, someone dropped like a half crate of Sour Patch Kids on my desk. And I had my hidden shame was I had it ferried in them, and I would eat them until my stomach hurt.
Okay, what's your spirit animal?
Oh, that's easy. Manta rays.
Really?
Oh yeah, I think they're beautiful. I mean, they're such a strange animal. They're not like any other animal, and they're like completely their own thing, and they're just incredibly beautiful. And so I
think they're so cute.
Yeah, actually, if you ever catch me on a casual day, I wear these shirts that have a lot of like Hawaiian tribal logos, and
I have noticed that.
Most of the time it's got manta ray logos on it.
I'll have to look for that next time. Okay. And then let's see. Did you have any childhood passions? Like when you were really, really young, when people would ask you, like, what are you going to be when you grow up? What did you say?
Well, I'd say the astronaut thing, because it was like, but what my childhood passion was, I was such a pyro little boy. I loved to set things on fire.
A Boy Scout?
I mean, it was, I would do things from, like the worst trouble I ever got in 2 times. Once was, I had a buddy who, his parents, he was really smart, and his parents wanted to feed his passions, and they left him alone.
Oh, no.
And so one day on early release, we went to his house, and we got out his model rocket, and we reconfigured the launcher so it launched horizontally, and then we went to the lawnmower, and we got the gasoline, and we filled a plastic bag with gasoline, and we'd launch the model rocket and park right into the bag of gasoline, and created like a that involved the police.
How old were you when you did that?
12.
And then lastly, I know you travel a ton with your family. Where are some of your favorite places to go? Like, I could totally go back here, or places that you want to experience? The
place that feels like a second home is England. My grandfather was from England. Okay. And so it's like one of those, I'm this close to having, like, if I got really pushed, I could go ahead and get a dual citizenship thing.
Yep.
But I really like England and Scotland. And especially at the West Country of England, we usually stay in this little town called Bath, which is
I love that.
Oh, we go, actually, I'm going to be there in 3 weeks.
Oh, I'm jealous.
And we
usually
send
postcards.
Okay. Yeah, or the digital version of it.
Yes.
No, I love England because it's like 180 degrees from Arizona.
It is.
It's an island rather than a big state. It's totally green. It's totally old.
Dark and rainy.
Yeah. And so, I'd love going to England. And I like Scotland a lot.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here, Dr. Bolman.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you got to join us.
I'm glad for all of you. It's like, I hope you can make it to at UAT and find a good tech life.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Remember to keep thriving and keep leveling up.